Hey folks, today we're looking at the BlackVue. This is the DR900S 2-channel system from BlackVue. This is a dash cam, both front and rear, so a 2-channel system. There's a camera facing out the front, there's a camera facing out the rear, as well as we're also going to look at the PowerMagic Pro, which is essentially a module that gives you parking mode for your BlackVue camera. So yeah, let's get into it. Hey folks, welcome back to techgooch, and today I'm finally getting to this review. This is kind of one that after I installed it a little while ago, I was going to do the review. I was going to wait a couple months, so at least if I saw something, I was kind of waiting to see something with the camera, like another accident or something, because you see them all. I mean, every so often you see something, right? And, well, COVID, not a whole lot of driving happened. So the usage went down significantly. At the same time, well, I kind of forgot about what was in my other vehicle. I didn't drive my van very much. I drove my truck more because the truck's my vehicle. That said, I was actually looking at it just a couple weeks ago and thinking, I gotta get this video done. This is kind of crazy why I'm waiting as long as I am. And then this weekend, technically yesterday, we drove out of town, about an hour and a half out of town, for a gymnastics meet for my daughter. Kind of the crazy thing is, halfway through we were like, oh, we should get a car wash, because we're in Iowa, we had a lot of snow, it's been melting like crazy, and the van is filthy dirty. And we didn't. I wish we had, but on the way home, actually came all the way home, we were back in our hometown, we were driving to drop my mother-in-law off, and we got rear-ended. So, I do have the shot. Not the shot I was hoping to get. I was hoping to see something out of the front. But this was more or less jammed from the back. This is the reason why I insisted on installing a 2-channel dash cam in the van. And I was really happy that BlackVue accommodated that. They actually did send me this camera and the kit. Full disclosure, they sent this for me to review. I actually reached out to them to do it because I have been asked by multiple people to check out this specific camera, this specific company too, because they've heard some great things about them. So I reached out about the 2-channel system. They obliged and sent this over. I did the full install on my GeekSmart channel. I'm going to link that down below as well. And to be honest, right out of the gate, extremely happy. Now, it comes with a 64 gig card. You can upgrade that to like I think up to a 256 gig. I might recommend that. Because with the 64 gig, driving all day yesterday, and then today, we have from about, actually just after we left, so about like 9:30 a.m. to the end of the day, and then the parking mode, I think, till 2 or 3 in the morning. That's like 60 gigs of video. So, that's a lot of space, so you're not going to get multiple days on this, right? Now, the big thing is if you just, obviously if you get an accident, like we did, after the accident, I pulled over, we were working on getting the insurance information. Eventually, I got into the van, and I was like, you know what? I don't need anything else. I pulled the memory card out, because I didn't want to forget getting it off. I didn't want to get my phone out to try to connect to it and pull it off that. Nope, I want the memory card out. So I just pulled the memory card out and disconnected the power to it. You have to disconnect the power to get the memory card out. And then once we got home, I pulled that information off immediately. I wanted to make sure I had it. Now, second thing, we were at a stoplight, so the fault is obviously not my own. And the other driver did admit fault right away. But in our city of Dubuque, basically every single intersection, they have cameras like crazy. So even bringing it up to the officer's like, we got it on video. It's all the cameras at the intersection. We're good on video. I don't need your dash cam, because I did offer him the footage right after I pulled the memory card. I was like, I do have the footage. I just have to pull it off the camera. I don't need it. We got it. Don't worry about it. He's like, it's obvious who was at fault. We're good. But the insurance company might want it. So, and of course, I'm gonna have it for this video. Now, I'm gonna show that clip here in just a second, the raw clip, and then it's the rear camera that's facing out the back that actually sees the incoming car slamming into the back of us. Thankfully, it was only on like a 25-mile-an-hour street, but it is filthy dirty. Because, like I said, with all the runoff and everything, the van, it was really dirty when this happened. Even with as dirty as it is, you can clearly see the vehicle slamming into us. Second, slowing down the footage, it's pretty obvious that the person was on their phone. Now, I'm not going to try to show the person, I'm not going to try to do all that. I'm not going to really talk about that. But once we pulled over, looking at the damage of my vehicle, his vehicle, and he was a pizza delivery driver. So, thankfully, insurance, no doubt, he's got insurance. But the vehicle, his radiator completely was destroyed, and it was just leaking out onto the road like crazy, just like a fire hose. Or more like a garden hose, I guess. But it's, yeah, this is the reason that you have dash cams, and why I really recommend at least a 2-channel system. Now, BlackVue, if there's one thing that I would love for you to upgrade, add an in-vehicle camera to this to make it a 3-channel system. You're going to increase the cost, I understand, but no, reality, that cost, I think, would be justified, because if somebody was hurt, you know, immediately my wife was on it, like, hey, does your neck hurt? Does anything hurt? Is everybody okay? Everybody was wearing their seatbelts in our vehicle, and nobody was injured. Yeah, a little bit of kind of whiplash kind of thing, but at least to this time, it's been, you know, 12 hours now or so, and nobody has shown any hurt or anything at all. We're going to monitor it over the next few days just to make sure, but it is what it is. That said, I'm going to show you the footage now, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Awesome. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Is your neck okay, Carmen?
You're okay, sweetie.
Are you okay?
You're okay. Oh, so scary.
Yes, it is scary. Oh my God!
Yep.
Awesome. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Is your neck okay, Carmen?
So that's my accident. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to head upstairs. We're going to take a peek at the camera in the vehicle. Now, if you watch the install, you're going to get a very close, in-depth seeing and how it actually went into the vehicle. But at least in this video, I'm going to show you not only the cameras, but also the damage that was caused in this accident. Can't wait to see what happens. But that said, let's head upstairs. We'll do that, and then we'll finish it up down here. So first, let's take a peek at the camera itself. So you can see it's kind of nestled up there behind the mirror. So, I mean, driver's point of view, you're not really going to see it, right? It's kind of tuckled up behind there. You have the 2 wires coming in, one from the rear camera, one from power. And then I have them, if you watch my install video, you can obviously see exactly how I routed the wires. But the nice thing about it is nice, it's nestled, it's out of the way, right? That's the big thing. It's out of the way, it's clean, it installs really good, and it's not a big eyesore. I love that about it. Love it. Also, the quality of the video is really good. So that's also a really big thing as well. Now, I had, like I said, after I got hit, I popped in here, and behind the power, you have to pull the power out. Then there's a little door, and that little door shows you where the memory card is. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's what it is to get into the memory card and pull that guy out. And I did that rather than get the phone out and get the app, because I have a new phone and I didn't have the Wi-Fi password in it yet, so I was like, whatever, I'll do it at home. So, but that's where the front camera is. Rear camera, let's go back there. A little more visible. Now, the only downside to where I placed the rear camera, I wanted it to be as in center as possible. The downside is, you can kind of see where my windshield wiper wipes, and it doesn't wipe there. So now, knowing what I know now, I'm probably going to move it over 6 inches, but I didn't want to move it until after I did this video, just to show why you might want to think about things. I was more in tune of making sure the camera was right in the center of the van. Not as big of a deal because it is a pretty wide view camera, but in my van you can see how far off I am on the windshield wiper, and this is just nasty dirty, and of course, oops. So I am going to move this over here. That is going to happen. That way it gets cleaned without me running through a car wash, and then I'll actually have decent footage. Now you could obviously move it down, but I wanted to stay away from the defrost lines as well, so keeping it up out of the way is also keen. But yeah, it looks, you can see obviously this one's a little more obtrusive, so you can see it easier, and then when it is running you can see the light running. So the nice thing is, even from my rear view mirror from the front, I can tell whether or not it's actually running. So yeah, that is the rear camera footage or placement. So to see how dirty it is, really dirty. It doesn't look as dirty from the inside, to be honest, as it does from the outside. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see in the camera where the line comes in, but my camera is actually right here, essentially right about there. So if I move that over to here or so, I won't have any more issues. But that's something that I didn't think about, because when I put it on, it was a clean window. So something to consider when you're mounting this guy. So I guess update to the install. That's a problem with my install. But yeah, and the damage. Yeah, did some pretty good stuff to the bumper. To be honest, I actually put this back. This bumper right here was actually sticking out. I had to main handle the heck out of it and actually pulled a screw out to screw it back in so that the bumper was close, so we could actually open the side door. But this thing was sticking out way out here. And yeah, the tailgate seal's all messed up. I don't even want to open the tailgate with fear of not being able to close it again. But this is all crushed in right here. And then of course the bumper got mashed up, the sensors, and my hitch. I don't know if you can even see the red paint on the hitch itself. But yeah, we'll let the insurance company figure out what they want to do or how they want to fix any of this stuff. But that's yeah, there's the damage. Damaged enough for me. Now I did want to showcase the app at least a little bit, and I've already actually connected to Wi-Fi with this. Like I said, I do have a new phone, so it didn't, and I remember my last one I had to submit or change the Wi-Fi settings on it, and so I didn't have the Wi-Fi password because the Wi-Fi password is actually in the box. But I do have it now, and I've actually changed it so I don't have to worry about having the box with me to remember it. So I'm in the app right now. I'm already connected via Wi-Fi to it. So if I go to Wi-Fi, you can see actually all the events, all the recordings on here. Some of them are black because those are parking mode events. And if actually, let's find a parking mode event where original file. If I could just do it on here rather than show it on there, but it's yeah, it's probably not going to show much of anything. But it's kind of a weird. I'll show you actually on the computer as well. But you can see all the events. If there's an actual event, it'll be tagged event. So there's motion sensor events. So if something was to happen, at least you have those. And these are actually from yesterday, 23/6/2021. And you know, you can scroll down and see all your exactly what's going on. Or now you can change the sensitivity on this so there's not so many events, right? And that's actually, I believe let's see the gear. Nope, that's the firmware. If we go up here, we go to settings. We can change version, maps, things like that. Let's go up here as well. Let's go home. Firmware settings. It's under firmware settings. There we go. So we can change basic stuff. We can change the time, change the recording resolutions, things like that. So 4K at 30 is what I have it currently set. Let's change the video codec. You can change it to all these settings right here. Extreme, huh? Which is what I have it set to, because I want the rear at the highest and the front at the highest resolution possible. Video codec, you can change HDR, night vision. You can change the brightness on the front and the rear. We can go to video, or we already did that, geez. So time recording options, normal recording, voice recording, if you want voice recording or not. I do. front camera rotation. So if you had it upside down, lock, event ticket, so it actually won't delete those. You can do that. I'm just going to make sure that I pull them off immediately right after they happen, personally. Let's see. We can go to sensitivity, and that's going to be in parking mode or normal mode. We can change the sensitivity to match whatever we see. So obviously this is going to be more in use. After you use it, if you need to bring the sensitivity down, you can. If we go to Wi-Fi, this is where I actually just changed my password, so that I can remember it without actually getting the box out. That's my fault from before. Cloud. Now there is a free cloud service. Basically you can monitor things from the cloud as long as it is connected to Wi-Fi, because it doesn't have an LTE chip in it. So, but if you actually have a phone in here or a device in here and you're sharing Wi-Fi to it, it'll actually upload things to the cloud. So that is, one nice thing. And that's for the most part, that's the basic stuff. If you have anything, you can download that specific clip, right, and save it to your phone. So in this case, now that I actually have it saved by the Wi-Fi on my phone, and I really, really hate myself for not forgetting the fact that I reset my network connections when I got my new phone. But anyway, that's that. You can see front, rear camera. It tells you which camera it is, and every single clip's going to have both front and rear, so they're going to be paired together, really easy to view. Or you can pull the memory card out, stick it in your computer, and see all of them as well in a list in one folder. So pretty simple, nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy about this at all. It works, and that's the point of this. I don't care how fancy it is. I want it to record, period. I want it to get everything that's going on when I'm driving more than anything else. The parking mode is definitely a nice benefit, but I want it to see everything while I'm driving, as good a quality footage as possible. Obviously the rear camera, I'm going to change that up so it actually is clear. That's my fault from installation. Something I misstepped on. So, but yeah, that's the app. Really quick and easy, and it works. And you can. I'm on the free plan. Let's see what the upgrade plan. Oh, of course, I'm not on the Wi-Fi, so I can't see that. But yeah, that's that. So I popped over to my Wi-Fi free. I get camera registration, live view, remote video playback, and that's going to be off the device. It's not going to save to the cloud. You're going to be able to pull off. Oh, I guess they do have 5 gigs of cloud storage. Push notifications, two-way communication, live GPS, where you can see where it is. If it's connected to your phone while you're driving and it's sharing Wi-Fi and sharing connection, somebody else could obviously see where you are. So that is a nice thing. Under the smart plan, $12 a month, $11.99 a month. More cameras, unlimited view, unlimited remote, more 5 gigabytes more, or per camera. Got it. So you get 5 gigs per camera. Longer storage period, GPS tracking for 90 days. There's some nice things about that. I will say that. Why not show it real quick? So if we go to, now I'm connected to my Wi-Fi in my house, not the camera. If I click on cloud, now we're going to see the actual camera, because it's also connected to my Wi-Fi in my house. So if I click on this, I should be able to pull up all the stuff. I can get a GPS track on it. I can hit live view, see myself in here. Oh, we're not going to see myself in here. It's going to see the camera. We're going to see a live view of where I am, as well as, yeah. Oh, you can hear me too. So that's the live view portion of it. And then you can pull yourself up on a map. Pretty cool. But again, it does have to have a Wi-Fi connection. So if you have in-vehicle Wi-Fi, or you're sharing your Wi-Fi from your phone or tablet or whatever, that's how it would work. Okay. So, to finish up, that's the DR900S 2-channel system from BlackVue. The main camera is 4K 30p capable. You can dumb that down to 1080p to get up to a 60p, 60 frames per second, right? So that's up to you what kind of footage you want. Do you want a higher resolution, or do you want higher frame rate? You can choose that. The rear camera is only 1080p capable at 30p. So I have it at 4K 30 and 1080 30 for the rear. That's what I chose, and that's what I choose, and I continue to choose. And with that, if I drive all day long with a 64 gig card that mine came with, they don't all come with 64, they come with 16s or 32s or whatever. I'm probably going to upgrade to a 128 or a 256 eventually. I may have 128 around here, but that said, with a 64 gig card, currently, from yesterday, from like 9:30 a.m., driving all the way down, parking mode there, and then driving around town and stuff, and then all the way back. 60 gigs of video. So it, you know, if you're driving all day, you're not going to get the full day of video on a 64 gig card. You might want to go bigger. If you don't do long trips and you're looking just around town, you know, I think a 32 or 64 is probably more than enough. But it also does come down to the quality of video you set as well, so that's something to keep in mind. PowerMagic Pro, I didn't really show, but I'm going to put the links, both, actually I have the install videos, these are separate install videos. I have the BlackVue camera by itself, and then the BlackVue, the PowerMagic Pro by itself. In the setup video, you'll see everything you need to see. In this case, for the review purposes, this gives me that parking mode capability. And when you go into parking mode, it kind of does this fast rate where, you know, it just, things move pretty fast because it's doing a lower frame rate. So that's what it's designed to do, but it wires to the battery and to the power switch, so it knows when you turn the ignition key off, and then it'll power directly. It'll mount to the battery. It does everything that it needs to do. It's a pretty basic system. Does require some wiring, and in that install video you can see the wiring, at least how I did it myself. So, all in all, what do I think of the system? Well, first of all, BlackVue sent me these. Now I actually contacted BlackVue directly myself, discussing what I'd like to do on this specific camera system, and they obliged me and sent me the product to do these videos. So I did not purchase these, full disclosure. Would I purchase them after knowing what I know now, right? And that's the point of this channel, is should you purchase this if you're looking at purchasing this? This system, without a doubt, I would purchase. Absolutely. It works good. And in my case, it caught exactly what I needed to catch. Now, do I need to make some modifications to my setup? Yes. I need to move the rear camera so it's not looking out dirt. That's my fault. And that's an installation failure, small installation failure that didn't show its head until it got dirty. With the pandemic, we didn't drive as much. So, but that said, that's something to note and know for future use. So definitely I do recommend watching the install videos on both of these if you're interested in them. And then of course this wrap up, would I buy them? Yes, I would. Quality equipment, it's solid. The app works good. The setup is pretty straightforward. Yes, you have to run wires. I would personally rather have a wire running from the front to the rear camera than a wireless device, and then figuring out how to power it or something. Running that lead was pretty simple. The hardest part in my case with my van was getting it fished into the tailgate. Now I don't even know if the tailgate is salvageable, so I don't know what they're going to do. We're going to find out, and I'll update you on this, I guess, eventually when we get to that point. So if I do in a separate video, I'll link that down below or at the end here as well. So. But if you have questions about this system, or even if you saw the dashcam footage and you'd like to use that dashcam footage in your own video, contact me at techgooch. So head over to techgooch.com. There's a contact tab. You can contact me directly, or if you'd like, just hit contact at techgooch.com and you can get a hold of me directly. And I'm more than willing to allow you to use the footage so long as you link back to this video or to this channel, or both. That said, comment, like, subscribe. And we'll catch you back here on techgooch for another future video review. Got lots coming. See you soon.